Alright, and welcome to labeling right triangles. Now, why would in the world would we have to label right triangles? Well, we're about to start learning something called trigonometry. And we use trigonometry when we are given an angle. Here we're given this angle is 62 degrees and one side. Okay, so we see here we're given one side. Now, I also wanted to note something else. If you ever see this little symbol right here, let me draw it in orange so it really pops out. If you ever see this little symbol right here, that is the symbol for the word theta. And what is theta? Well, it's kind of like the Greek notation for an angle, okay? So, what are we going to do here? Well, let's go ahead and break this down into steps. Step 1. I always want you to draw an arrow through the right angle. So we can only use trigonometry with right triangles, which implies they will always have a right angle. So I draw my arrow through the diagonals, if you will, and that will always point to the hypotenuse. Okay, so we know that this line right here is in fact the hypotenuse. Now, step 2. I always want you to circle the given angle. I always want you to circle the given angle. So let's use a different color here. I'll use this nice purple, and I circle it. And why do I circle it? Well, I know that my given angle is always made up of the hypotenuse and what we're going to begin to call the adjacent side. Alright, so we have our hypotenuse and our adjacent side. And the way you can think of it is the adjacent side touches the angle. Well, it's not the only side that touches the angle. The hypotenuse does as well. But we know the hypotenuse is the hypotenuse because it's across from the right angle. And then what's our step 3? Well, we'll just label our other side the opposite. Oh, and I'm having a hard time writing here. Let's see. Yeah. Just because I'm on the edge of the screen. Here, let me do this. Okay. And we'll just say, you know what? This is going to be our opposite side. My apologies. Okay. Let's go ahead and practice another labeling triangle problem. Okay, here we have example 2, and let's go ahead and start running through our steps. We know step 1, we want to draw an arrow going through the right angle, and that will always point to the hypotenuse, which from now on we will abbreviate HYP. Okay, let's say, let's say this was the angle that I was looking at. Let's say this was our given angle is the 38. Here, there's 2 angles shown, but let's say it's this one. The given angle is the 38. Well, we would say that, this other side that touches that angle, that must be our adjacent side. And lastly, this 25, this side that is across from the angle, that will, of course, be our opposite side. All right, let's go ahead and practice one more. Okay, here we have example 3. And let's go ahead and run through our steps. Step number 1, we want to draw an arrow going through our right angle. We now know that this side is our hypotenuse. We also would like to circle our given angle. In this case, we are only given this angle x. And we know that this other side that's running into it must be our adjacent side. Now this final angle, the one that is not touching this final side that is not touching that angle, is going to be our opposite. So guys, always just label your opposite side last, and it'll be the default side that is not touching the angle. Alright, I hope this helps, and I'll see y'all in our next video.